How many symphonies did Mahler write? Well, he did write 9 with numbers full. He wrote a 10th one, which is the Song of the Earth. He was actually avoiding the number 9, so he wrote the Song of the Earth because he was superstitious about number 9, after Beethoven, Dvorak, and Schubert. And then there's the 10th. So what is this? It's a torso, uninterrupted, of sketches, of 5 movements, which is all from the hand of Mahler. First movement is completed, and as we go through the symphony, there's less and less information, and by the last movement is more or less only one melodic line and a few rhythmical or harmonical indications. But still, the entire structure or overview is by Mahler. I personally believe that even though some passages that Derek Cook has reorchestrated or arranged to complete that torso, some passages might sound like Mahler would have done it a little differently. Of course, it is more than worth playing because some of the passages are really maybe the most beautiful that Mahler ever wrote. A few highlights. The very last movement, the cellos and the violas accompany a flute solo, which lasts a few seconds, but which is so heartbreaking. It's a soliloquy which is so intimate, telling, and yet it's not necessarily dark. It's just very lonely, and it's as if Mahler speaks more simply and directly to our soul and heart, more than in some other of his symphonies where he gets with all these extra doublings and orchestrations. There's also a few striking moments with a big drum, which marks an interruption of a line, of a very melodic line from the tuba. There's also a very short movement in the middle of the symphony with nice solos from the flute and the oboes, which are dancing. And now I'm back to the Adagio. The Adagio, which is the only really completed movement by Mahler, which is this very poised and longer lines, almost like Bruckner, but with a very deep and personal take on it. Famous for his viola section solos. There's 4 times the violas do a very long line without accompaniment, and I think from the first note to the last note of Mahler's 10th Symphony, we feel it's a work of afterlife. Someone who has lived so much that, yes, it's still an exaggeration or a hyperactive work in many ways, but it's also a work that is back to a certain purity, like one would expect from a genius at the end of his journey.